Okay, so one of the biggest questions is how do you know your brushes are actually going? So sometimes the Dremel might just stop completely, and other times that you'll get this sound before it stops completely. I'll just show you what a new Dremel sounds like. So there you go, that's a 30,000 RPM, really, really smooth. And this is the brushes that are worn on this one, and I've got it set at 30,000 RPM as well. And so just listen to this. So you can really hear that sound. It's really intermittent and all over the place. So that's when the brushes are worn. And you can also get the brushes, if they're worn, it will just stop working completely. Okay, so we're about to change the brushes on this one. You will notice I've unplugged it, which is always good practice when you're dealing with motors and everything like that, and just changing things out on the Dremel. Okay, so usually it's a real easy process, but on this one you will notice that the caps don't have a slot in them for a screwdriver. So essentially what we have to do is take one half of the body off, which means we've got to unscrew it. Okay, so to unscrew the Dremel, what you want to do is you want to take out these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws, and you also want to take off this holder here. So take that off first, and we just unscrew these. Okay, so we've taken all these screws out, and I'm going to, it usually doesn't sort of like fall apart that easily, so I just use a chisel or a flat screwdriver to prise it open. Okay, you'll notice when I'm prising it open, and you can get this too, the cap can fly out, and that is because there's a spring behind it with the brush connected to it. So the brush is made out of carbon, and essentially it's forming a connection that passes electricity through it. So here you have on the left the old one and the new one on the right. So we're going to replace the old with the new. Okay, so just remember to take the other brush out. So there you have the two brushes, and that is the cap. That is an unthreaded cap, remember that. And here we go, we're going to replace it. So that it only goes in one way, which is probably lengthways along there. And you just need to push that down. Remember to put the other one in. This is where I like actually not taking the housing of the Dremel completely off, because you can just push the caps back into place, as in here, and then just squeeze the housing back together. Okay, so I'm putting in the other cap on the other side, and then I'm going to squeeze the housing on both sides together, and it should make a satisfying click. Okay, so all you need to do now is to put these screws back in and just tighten them up to a reasonable kind of tightness. And remember to put the clip back onto the back of the Dremel. Okay, it's recommended to run the Dremel for 5 to 10 minutes at a low speed. So I put it on the glove there and I've turned it on, but it's unplugged. And then I plug it into the wall and turn it on from the wall socket. That's so if it sparks, it's not going to spark onto my hand or anything like that. Okay, so I thought I'd quickly show you the brushes in action, what they actually look like inside, and there's the worn one, and you can see why it wears down, because that is constantly turning and wearing that carbon down. Okay, so that's how you change the brushes on the unthreaded plug models, and yeah, so hopefully that helped you out.